welcome back to Jam and Kenny, where now we're gonna have a little bit of a shorter video. This one has more to do with recent changes to, I guess, video games in China. I'm not sure if anybody's heard, but as of recent, China passed a couple laws where they're going to be limiting, the laws aim to limit spending on video games. You know what I mean? So it's not just like having appropriate I guess ratings for games or things like that. Like, this aims to stop microtransactions, and if not stop them, at least curve them a bit. And you know what?
It's gambling.
Yeah. Really weird to say. I kind of agree with China on this one, where they're going with this one. And here's the thing. I agree with them because microtransactions they've just gone too far. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Yeah,
I mean, to talk about a game that we spent years playing, and the weird thing is we didn't start playing Battlefront 2 till after they got rid of all the microtransactions. And you know what?
I was playing from the get.
You were playing from the get-go?
I was playing from the get. I love Star Wars, man. So
Yeah.
Was I happy about it? No. Was I complaining the whole freaking time until they eventually changed it? Absolutely.
I didn't play that because of the microtransactions.
Yeah, no. And then it's fair, for the people who are like, well, they keep doing this because you guys keep buying and playing the game. I get that, but at the same rate, it's just.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Yeah. It's just that's the whole.
You want to play the game, you're gonna play the game. What are you gonna do? I'm just not gonna buy microtransactions.
Yeah.
And I heard a little while ago somebody who's like, well, the microtransactions aren't for you. Let the microtransactions be there because they're not for you. They're for like people who can't play games all the time and want like the ability to catch up. But I would call bullshit on that. That specifically. That's not. You know what? I don't have a lot of time to play video games, but I also don't want to have to spend fucking $40 on 3 cards that may or may not work for me. Especially with the gacha.
You weren't guaranteed that you would get that you're actually going to get anything that you actually need.
Yeah, and we same with this Battlefront 2 debacle. The message they put out afterwards was like a fucking slap in the face to gamers, dude. Yeah. It really was. Hey, don't you want to have pride in your achievements? It's like, yeah, finishing the game is an achievement, but this game has no end. It was literally just a multiplayer game, and
Battlefront 2 had its story.
We had the three stories, but nobody played that shit.
Yeah, I played them. They were pretty good stories.
Okay.
The story part.
I only played the multiplayer.
Yeah, the Item Versio is probably one of my favorite game characters.
Oh, that's right, because this is where she was introduced, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. No, never mind. You know what? I was wrong. I misremembered. There was story. But, ultimately after you finish playing the story, all that was left of the game was the multiplayer. And the fact that you had the multiplayer, not only that, you had to play for hours and hours and hours on end to get good at the game. What was holding you back? Well, the fact that I didn't spend $700, to buy all the cards so that I can, get everything today, right? And we saw it recently too with, I think it was Diablo Immortal.
I mean, the precursor to the whole Star Wars Battlefront thing is the fact that they have been doing basically that with their FIFA games, and it's a lot more certain companies that will tend to do it. Obviously, EA is one of the big ones that kind of is one of the bigger video game companies out there, and they have been doing this for years, and it's because I feel like the reason why FIFA gets away with it so often, and even Madden for that, is that it's typically it is actually accessing that type of person. You know what I mean? That person who's just like older people will tend to play those games than younger kids, and they have money. You know what I mean? They have money to spend. So if you give them the option to not have to do anything or to just
take the shortcut,
and just spend some cash, it accumulates, right? But
yeah,
they're like, here, $5, and mobile games do it a lot too, where it's, you know, here it get access to all these different crystals and materials and weapons, and you'll get it right away for $5. You know,
yeah.
and it's on discount right now. It's normally $15 to $20,
But I'll give it to you for $5
right now. If you spend $5, you'll get it right, and it's just
so like you said, that part, mobile games, I think is where more of this is aimed at. You do have some big games that have gotcha, like Apex Legends. They have the Legend crates. Does Call of Duty have gotcha? I know they sell skins and cosmetics, but they don't have like loot boxes, right?
No, I think they pretty much stick to. Now what them and like Fortnite have done differently is actually come out with things that people want and will spend that money for to get, such as being able to be Spawn,
yeah,
you know, in the game, or John Wick, or whoever, you know, Fortnite has in there that you can get the skin for.
But the difference between that, like a cosmetic, and I think what a lot of these games are doing, and where China is aiming the banhammer at, is things that help you progress the game. Yeah. You know, getting materials, like you said, getting crystals, getting all these resources, whereas like the other cosmetic stuff, that I don't want to say so much it's like FOMO. I think some battle passes do prey on that, the FOMO, the fear of missing out. But a lot of battle passes are free now. So I don't think this is aimed at that. I think it's more of like, you know, you have like a secondary battle pass where this one has all the real stuff that you want. So you have to pay for the battle pass. You have to pay for the points. If you can't play every day, you got to buy points to then progress your battle pass. And it sort of does become preying on people's fear of missing out, FOMO. Mm-hmm. So I can agree with China on saying like, hey man, like this is predatory.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to like maximize your profits because these kids, because it's aimed at kids. All these games are pretty much aimed at kids. Mm-hmm. These kids might not have the time or the ability to get this, so they gotta pay out of pocket to like level up their battle pass. And you know, Fortnite does it too, where you buy platinum or whatever the fuck you buy their money, and then with that money you can progress your battle pass. Or if you buy the premium battle pass, you know, ticket, it gives you 10 levels into your battle pass, so it saves you that much more time and stuff like that, where that's where the issue I think lies. Not even the battle pass, because Halo has an awesome battle pass system, Halo Infinite, where the battle passes don't go away. You can just you can move between different battle passes. If say this battle pass over here had something you wanted, you can switch over to that one and do that line. You know, which I think is like a great way. It's not so predatory because it does give you time. It does work with the player. So I think something like that would be great. But this one where it's like, it's gotcha, right? And you know, you gotta buy the pass because this character is only in the pass. But the pass costs $20 and you have to get to level 100 of the pass.
And it's limited time.
You only got 3 months. Apex Legends does that shit. I used to care about it, and I sort of slowly stopped caring because it was like, dude, it felt like, yeah, it was just preying on the FOMO. And it's like, okay, but it doesn't change anything. They're just cosmetics. What the fuck am I so worried about?
Yeah.
The worst part of that is you can't even see the cosmetics. Everybody else can see the cosmetics, but I don't get to enjoy them.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars was a little different because you got to see the cosmetics, but
yeah,
like,
I mean, and don't even get me started on that. the fact that we talked about the whole. Okay, well, if you're going to go off cosmetics, at least you're offering something. If you want this, you can buy it. And they had every opportunity to make the most out of that, especially with that IP. Are you kidding me? There's not a bunch of different kind of cosmetics that would drive people crazy to
you can you can put a Mandalorian skin on Boba Fett. That would have been money. I would have bought that.
Or just come out with that character.
Yeah.
Just come out with the character. So just come out with an Ahsoka character. Just come out with and they have now, and again, they have these.
But see, I think if they did something like that, it would fall under more of not an expansion, but a DLC.
It would be either DLC if you wanted to. I don't know if they would have charged people to have access to the character, or it just comes out, they're released. But these skins, if you want this particular skin, if you want a robot leg Darth Maul, which they eventually came out with, you have to pay for it, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But then you get into these practices, like I said, where they're kind of geared towards kids. You could tell that it's just, I want to get those kids. I want these kids to have access to their, mom and dad's credit card attached to their account, and they're just clicking that button.
Have you heard any cases where like the kids?
Yeah, like they max out credit cards and shit.
Do you anybody you know personally that
not
did that?
I've actually had like a couple friends say, "Oh yeah, my son spent $200 on this one game," or that kind of thing. And then you heard of the stories of like some I forgot who it was. There was a celebrity whose son spent like
my nephew did it. He did it to his dad's credit card, like $200 on Fortnite. And he had a call. They had to take everything away, and then he can't use the account anymore. He can use the account, but he can't use a credit card with it. He has to buy V-Bucks cards.
Yeah.
Or like Nintendo, because he plays on his Switch, so like Nintendo points to then buy. And so it really does seem like it was the right choice for people to make. And as much as like people are going like, well, this is only going to be in China, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be all over the world, and hopefully the United States is next. Because damn, dude, the fact that these kids like the term used is they become no lifes. Where all they do is live on their iPads playing the games. That's a really dangerous thing. And why do they do it? Well, because if I don't, I'm gonna miss out on the Spider-Man skin. I'm gonna miss out on the Miles Morales skin. I'm gonna miss out on the voice lines and stuff. And I think there is a way to do a lot of this, like the right way. DLCs, you know what? I'll give my kid $5 to buy a Spider-Man skin. It's $5.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen every day. Doesn't happen, multiple times a month. But I'll give him $5-10 to buy a skin. I'm gonna go back to $5. I didn't say 10. $5.
Yeah.
But there's another thing that this also aims. So it's not just the microtransactions for the gacha. It's also they call it incentives to play is what they called it. Let me bring this up.
Oh, I know. Is this the system where it's like you need to have a certain amount of like say crystals to keep going on in the game?
No, that one is sort of in this. It's sort of built into.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The fact that I can't play this game unless I spend more money right now.
Or I gotta wait 10 hours to do something else.
Yeah, to do.
Yeah. So that's all part of this. But what they really, really honed in on was first time purchase bonuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it's like, hey, like you said, here's a $15 pack, but I'll give it to you for $5.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so now I started with the $5, right? If I want the next one, it's going to be 15, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. If you buy it again, I'll give it to you for 10.
Yeah.
And then once you've made that investment, what sort of works its way in is the sunken investment policy.
I've already
spent $15. What's another 15?
I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah. And so I think what they're trying to do is, it was really weird because I thought that this was going to be sort of aimed to what they did in the early 2020 or 2021, where they started putting a limit on like how much time people could play video games for minors. So if you were a minor and you were playing a game, it would limit you to like 4 or 5 hours of gameplay, right? And then you couldn't play again until the next day. So I honestly thought this was going in that direction, but it does hit some good points. So like that what is it called? The sunken money policy or sunken time policy. It's like, I've already invested so much into it, I should keep investing because it's only going to grow. But, you know, with these games not having an end, like these mobile games and these Apex Legends, you know, multiplayer MOBAs, the games don't end. They keep going forever. So I think what this is trying to do is aim correctly at the issue, which is the endless spending that you need to do to get anywhere in these games. Yeah. And so I agree, but I think the best part of it was the gacha. That seems to be the biggest one in all these. And I'll tell you, dude, I have friends who played games like Genshin Impact, which is a Japanese game. It's a beautiful game. A lot of people played it, but you know, to level up a character, you had to feed that character another character. And so then you have to keep merging your characters until they get stronger. And then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you've gone as far as you can with that resource, right? So now you need the secondary resource on top of the first resource, and it's all gacha. So you're going to have to keep buying boxes until you're able to get all the materials that you need that only come out of this one box.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, like I said, Diablo Immortal was a big supporter of the gacha system. When they released Diablo Immortal, I remember there was this guy, a YouTuber, I think, or a streamer, and he actually spent the money to see how much it cost to level up one character to max. One character. Mind you, one character. Games like Diablo are games that you have multiple characters of that you play through with, because each character plays a different style. So you have like a monk, a barbarian, you know, a demon hunter. And if you want to level each of one of those characters up to max, you had to spend $110,000.
That's yeah. Nobody should. Yeah.
Nobody should have to spend that much money on a fucking video.
How did
they
calculate that, or how did it?
The guy went through and gotcha'd until he had all the resources.
Oh, so he
literally
had the money for it.
I think it was on a stream. He literally sat there. I think there's a video of it too. And he just kept buying.
Oh, you know what? I think I remember this. This was not too long ago, right? Like
no, it was like during COVID.
Yeah. I do remember this.
Yeah, and you know, $110,000, dude. That's preposterous.
It's insane. That
is preposterous. I don't make $110,000 in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know. So what hope does a kid have of, you know, being able to complete any of the games that they buy,
right?
Or at least getting the cool skin that they wanted,
right?
Yeah.
And I mentioned something from the last video when we were kind of going briefly talking about this, is, you know, if this sets a precedent, you know, how far does it go? Because are they willing to get rid of things like Pokemon cards, at least the way that they're the current structure of them now? Because Pokemon is still massive over there. You know, when you talk about like being able to sell a pack of cards to somebody and not knowing what's in there. And so you're just constantly buying these packs and packs and packs and packs, and then, you know, you may not get. You can buy a set of five packs of cards and not get anything that you're really looking for in there. It's a physical version of that.
Here's the weird thing about that. That used to not be the case. So with Magic the Gathering, the packs you bought, it was because of the way the game was set up. So basically, it was a draft format. So you would buy a bunch of packs, you would put your deck together there, and then you would play against other people, which sort of lends itself to that whole like randomness in a pack, you know. And that sort of fell into the lore of Magic, where it's like there's different planes of existence, different characters on each plane, and you know you gotta put them together to fucking beat your opponent, right? And so that it seems like harmless, right? Like, oh, it's just a game, right? And then you know you had formats that you took these cards that you pulled in this draft format, and then you can use them in the standard play, so the cards kept their value after they left the draft, right? And here's the weird thing: after that, there was something called Magic the Gathering Online, right? And that sort of had like a purchase system where people would play drafts and then they would sell the cards after across in the same game, right? In the same online game. There was a point to where you could build a deck in the game and then contact Wizards and send them money, and they would send you that deck in real life.
That's it. Yeah.
So it circumvented the gotcha of the draft.
Kind of a process for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
to
but
make you go through hoops a little bit just to be able to do.
Yeah,
but just put the cards that you're buying on the pack.
It goes to show that it's a possibility that you can sell individual cards and stuff like that. You don't have to make it a whole gambling system. Yeah. You know, you can go on eBay right now, and one of the most recent sets and expansions, you can put complete set of cards and they will send you, somebody bought boxes of cards, sorted them out, and then made complete sets that they sell online, which isn't a bad idea either, for a game like Magic or Pokemon where you have like an endless number of cards available to you. I was trying to do this thing where I made an app to track sort of Magic cards, and they have over 35,000 individual cards. You don't need all of them, you know, but I can see how something like that would make it a little harder to sort of print, to order these cards, but at the same time, it's not impossible.
Right.
You know, they make pre-constructed decks. You know, you buy a pre-constructed deck, you play with it, you change it up however you want. The problem is when they make it literally impossible to get what you need.
Yeah.
And it's like that always, because now you have like
where it goes into the gambling territory.
Yeah. Because now you have so many commons, so many uncommons, so many rares, so many mythics, and then you have ultra rares, ultra mythics, and so on and so forth. And it makes it impossible to just go somewhere and be like, hey, I want to play this. This is what I need. Yeah. You know? And it is predatory, dude. Like, I shit you not, I've spent more money than I would like to admit to.
It is an
for
addiction.
Magic the Gathering.
It is an addiction as well, because I've seen you buy these cards.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you can't help it, but you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go look at this.
I want to go.
And I'm gonna buy
there's times where, even just one pack, gotta get that fix.
Yeah.
Gotta get that fixing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they've created that kind of almost like addictive atmosphere around that whole system, and you see that kind of the way that somebody reacts to it, almost like as if they are legitimately addicted to it. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta go. There's a certain type of almost like lack of control of like, I'm gonna check out these packs.
Yeah, it's FOMO. Oh shit! What if this pack had something good? Oh, I'm gonna buy it just in case. Like, you've heard of girl math and like nerd math and all that stuff.
No, I have no idea.
You never heard of girl? So it was like, so the way it goes is like, okay, I want this, but it's so expensive. And then it's like, yeah, but I'm going to keep using it. I'm going to use it multiple times. And if I take that value of this item and I use it multiple times, the breakdown of each time that I've used it makes it worth it. You know? And here's the worst part. And I saw this meme earlier, and I sent it to a friend, and it's like, and it's Leonardo DiCaprio where they're all laughing and they're on the phone talking. They're all laughing about all the money they just made by like hustling these suckers.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's like I bought a box of cards and I bought all these cards and these cards are like the most value. Oh yeah, dude, I pulled so much value, but I'm never gonna sell these cards. So why am I spending so much money to buy these cards that I'm never gonna sell? I'm never gonna see the money back on these cards. I've bought cards. I've pulled cards multiple times where the cards value were like in the hundreds, and I never sold any of them.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the card because of what the card did. So it's like I'm not gonna sell it.
Yeah, it's like how I explain my Hot Toys. The Hot Toys, you know, being collectibles, and you're buying them, and I'm like, yeah, how much did you spend on those?
Value, right?
How much did you spend on those? And you're like, a lot of money. And then you're like, but they're worth like 3 times that right now. You know what I mean? It's like you have no plans on selling them.
No.
And some people do. I get that some people do, but most people probably don't want to do. A, they get attached to it. B, you just too lazy or just don't know how to go about
do it.
Yeah, how to necessarily pull that off.
Like that's the last scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin. She made him sell his collection.
And she knows how to do it though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exactly what she does.
But he didn't want to.
Yeah.
And I think most people who are part of a fandom fall into that. We don't want to sell our shit.
Yeah.
But again, you know, when you have Magic, at least you have the physical item. You know, when you have Pokemon, at least you have the physical item. All these games, you have nothing to show for it. Once the service, because it's a live service game, they're on servers. Your save game isn't stored on your phone. It's not stored on your console. It's not stored on your PC. It's stored on a server somewhere. And when that server shuts down, all that shit's gone.
Yeah.
All you're gonna have is the fucking memories. All you're gonna have is the thoughts. That's all you're gonna have. And I don't agree with gacha at all. Even the cards, again, I don't agree with that. But the difference is night and day to me, because even though I don't sell my Magic cards right now, and I, like you said, I don't have a plan to sell them, you know, come on hard times, I'll sell some cards.
Yeah.
If I don't use them, I'll sell them. And I've done it before. Like I'll walk in and be like, I got lucky once. A little story about gacha. Right. So I walk into a store and I bought a pack. Like you said, I was like, oh, I'm just going to buy a pack. I opened the pack. There was a card in it that I didn't need, that I didn't use because it's not part of what I play. And so I was like, I'm going to sell the card back to the shop. I sold the card back. And I was like, hey, can I get store credit? Because you know how they give you more for store credit than actually cash back. So I was like, I'll take store credit. And the guy gave me like $40. And I was like, there's a few more packs in the box. I'm like, the same box. I bought another pack. I put more fire in it. You know, I didn't need those cards. I sold them back to the shop, and I kept doing it until I ran out of the box. And in this case, I got really lucky, but that kept me buying more packs. I got lucky that I was able to buy off all those packs with the previous ones. Mm-hmm. In the end, I ended up making like $120, which was dumb because I should have cashed out. But what did I do? I bought another box. Yeah. I bought a complete box. And in that box was nothing. I threw away $100. And honestly, it would have been more because the cumulative of just keep buying packs. I think I sold back to the store like $300 worth of value. And I got maybe $70 out of the box in value. Yeah. Which is it was a tragedy. Yeah. I messed up, but you know, it was that feeling of like, oh, I'm going to get something. And in the end I didn't.
It's like gambling.
Yeah, it's gambling, and it sucks. But again, you know, I agree with China in this. I'm glad somebody's finally stepping in and doing something about it. Because it is dumb, dude. It is. These companies make so much money. Yeah. You want to know how much value the 2 biggest companies in China lost when this law went into effect?
I'm gonna guess in the billions.
$80 billion of value just for the company value. $80 billion. Nobody needs that much money, bro. Come on. Come on. And we're seeing it get worse because it's moving away from just the gacha in the game to like the price of games. You know, it's I don't think the games aren't worth more than what they're sold for, but you know, all in all, if you look at it, they only built the game once. You know, they only designed the card once. And yeah, you're going to want to maximize your value, but to maximize your value in such a predatory way, I don't think that was good. We let them get away with this for way too long.
Yeah.
You know.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that you're willing to play the shenanigans, you play the game.
Yeah, you're willing to play the game.
In the shenanigans.
Yeah. And honestly, if we couldn't do it, I'm glad somebody else stepped in and is like, that's too direction. Much. Yeah, yeah. And hopefully we see this continue in the U.S. and other countries. I want to sort of, and I saw someone make this comparison on YouTube. It was everybody saying like, it's not going to happen here. It's not going to happen here. They were telling the dude, and he goes, yeah, but look at what happened in the European Union. These companies are trying to maximize their profit. So they're not going to build two versions of the game to make just a little money over here, just a little bit more money over here than over here. They're not going to do that. Yeah. So hopefully it follows that what the guy said. It's like the EU, when they changed their rules for the internet, everybody did it. Mm-hmm. Everybody did it. So hopefully this follows the same way. You know.
I hope so. I mean, to me it's just get that system at least away from kids.
Yeah.
At least away from kids. You know, at the end of the day, it is gambling. Last I checked, that was illegal for kids. You know, so but this is a way around that, and not just a way
because it's a kids game.
Yeah, making it exploiting.
Yeah.
I don't know. So hopefully it's a step in the right direction that keeps going from there, and it makes its way to the U.S. That to me is going to be the big news if the U.S. actually implements something like this. But I don't know how the game system works. I'm sure there are billion-dollar industries out there, companies that are going to do their best to make sure that does not happen. And we'll see.
Rockstar, no. Who owns Rockstar? Take-Two?
I have no idea.
I think it's Take-Two. And Take-Two is going to be one of the companies that's like, no, we don't want this to happen. But, you know, and you know, even though like it was, you know, like you said, in like the soccer games that are targeted more towards adult, the kids play those games too, man. Like I have a nephew who plays the soccer one. So, and I think he actually got in trouble too for doing stuff like that. But, you know, hopefully, like you said, it does go in the right direction. We do see some action taken in the U.S., even if it's not completely removing it from what, you know, the game industry. At least it's changed for the better, you know, like where it's just cosmetics. There's no progression involved in a gacha or purchases that you need to make in the game. But why don't you let us know what you think, if you agree with China, which is kind of fucking hard to say, or you agree with EA and their stupid comment of, don't you want to be proud of your accomplishments? No, I want to play the game. Yeah. If I'm looking for pride, I'll go outside.
I don't even understand that sentiment. It doesn't make sense to me.
But again, thank you for watching. Let us know what you think, and join us again next time to see what else we talk about. You guys have a good night.